Oh, there we go. Welcome. Audio is amazing. Oh, good. Okay, but now you should be able to hear me. I bet you didn't hear before. Welcome to episode 145. Today's episode is The Gift of Lies, and it is good to be with you, my friends. A couple of housekeeping things. Mr. Michael from Valley City, North Dakota. My good man, I have received your letter and your fine piece of silver in exchange for a book. However, in your letter, you told me you've read blueprints, or are reading blueprints of mind control, and technology of belief, which means I don't know what book you want. There are 4 books. I have 3. You have 2, and there are 4. And this coin, I will bequeath to you a book, but you must tell me which. In fact, you must not, because if I don't hear from you, I still need to send you a book. So, people of the chat, let us choose which book to send our good friend in North Dakota. I'd like us all to focus on Michael. He's somewhere in Valley City, North Dakota. I know where, but I'm not going to tell you. And I'd like you to focus hard and tell me which book should we send Michael. Blueprints and Technology finished. Painting a picture I have been contemplating for years. Thank you for the words. This will be my second time sending this silver because when I sent it out on Friday, my excitement to send some prana resulted in me forgetting the stamp. And now you forgot to tell me which book, and that's okay. This happens all the time. It's totally cool. But let me know, man, because I don't want to leave you hanging. And by the end of the show, anyone in chat who votes, you have 2 choices. We can send him The Spell of 6 Dragons. That's my first book. That's more trans-state poetry, like flow state kind of stuff. And the next book is Quantum Rapture, which is a tale of transhumanism and where it leads and how it gets there. So, Michael, people of the chat, let's decide what we're going to send Michael. And let's remember the power of silver. I exchange silver for books. I think it's a great trade. So yeah, if you're interested in doing that, P.O. Box 403, Banner Elk, North Carolina, 28604. You can do that. People send me things sometimes. I usually don't do like a viewer mail thing because I don't really like. So this is gonna sound fucked up, but I don't actually like things being sent to me. That's bad. But it's not. So what I mean is that it I have so many different avenues of slots where information people want to contact me, and it's hard because sometimes you don't know what you're going to get and what you're not going to get and stuff like that. And then I don't want to like only show certain things on the air and leave out other things. And so right now I'm breaking this rule. But damn, Melanie, this is like a hell of a card, sending good vibes your way. Yeah, James, my neighbor, works for Life is Good. Gave me a box of these. Just had to send you one. That's a T-shirt. It's actually right here behind me. It says Campfires. It's a great T-shirt. Also wanted to share from the Maryland growers. Let me know what some of your favorites are. I will send. Thanks for everything. Hugs, Melanie. And Melanie has sent these pre-rolled dog walkers, which I think is just awesome that we have a life now where we can send this kind of stuff to each other. I think it's fabulous. In fact, if you were in the dojo today, you were going to watch me test drive one of these live in the dojo setting. So I look forward to that. And I'm hoping Melanie will be there too. Yeah. So today's program. Before we get rolling right now, I want to give a shout out to someone that's not expecting this. Right now, there's a man named Michael, and he's sunning in New York, and he's listening to this program right now. And Michael, every day, is growing more vitriolic for his compassion. And Michael is one of the guys that seems to have been on Reality Island the longest among us. And I just want to give a shout out to the ones that have been on Reality Island the longest, waiting for the rest of us to come to shore. You guys have really done well here. You've set up camp for us. You've been very patient with how long we've taken. Your compassion is stretched to avenues that you didn't think it would go. And I just want to give a shout out. We only shout out the people that are newly arrivals, but we fail to recognize our elders. And in this case, Michael D, buddy, I know you're out there, man. So keep up the good work and enjoy that sunshine today in New York. Enjoy it. When I was in New York, I decided to get in front of a fire, write a ceremony, a magical ceremony, call people from across the country to burn calories to come to this ceremony, engage in that ceremony. In front of all of them as witness, I took a piece of bark hand-peeled from the forest and cast it in the fire and declared vitriol. And now I notice that everyone who is at Rhinebeck has serious vitriol, and I would like to make a public apology. I did not realize that would be quite so potent. It is something I'm happy with. I'm happy with the results of that spell. I'm happy with the results of that magic. But I should have maybe signed a waiver. We should have maybe signed a waiver. What's happening? In fact, now I'd be lying to say that I'm kind of wondering why I didn't yell like land, titties, food. And it's just all of those things would have been like maybe better. I don't know. But hey, we picked vitriol, and that's what we're going for. And it's definitely making us stronger. It is stretching my compassion in ways I did not know possible, which is part of the reason why I brought up Michael D. Because so many of us, man, our compassion is being stretched. It is being stretched so hard. And that's part of the green belt. It's part of why we're here. And it's part of why we're doing what we're doing. And one of those things we're going to talk about is lies. We're going to talk about lies. I'm actually going to try and explain to you why lies are important, necessary, and make the world go round. And that's a tricky thing to do because of how much we despise lies, as we should. What we despise is inauthenticity, and the lies are a way to do that. However, I'm about to tell you that lies themselves are in fact authentic, and that if we are under the impression that lies are not supposed to be here, but we somehow brought them, I think we're wrong. I would say that lies are the abyss of all gnosis. Anything that you could possibly want to know is going to have to come from the unknown. And part of the unknown is going to be a lie. You have active positive unknown, and you have negative unknown. You have passive unknown, you have active unknown. To mask something, to hide something, to camouflage something is not something that's built into humanity. It's built into nature. Nature itself runs on camouflage. It runs on lies. It runs on deceit. In fact, if it was not for that deceit, truth itself would have no incubator, right? No process to actually grow in. In fact, it's the lies that are around truth that give us the distinguishing characteristics of knowing what truth is. So lies are the canvas that allow us to paint the truth on top of it. And we can get lost and say, well, but lies are all about intent. But we're generally speaking about intent or not, guys. People lie all the time. Most of the time, people lie. And we call that being polite. We call that being socially constructive. We call that being supportive. We call that being compassionate. Sometimes we call it being compassionate. And there are times where lying actually is compassionate. I can't believe that I've ever thought that. But I've had to really, really look back and analyze some situations. And I actually can see some situations where the lie itself is compassionate. And this is a great fodder for anyone who wants to pretend that they've never lied and that they can't. Because they'll say, see, that's you showing that. And I think ironically, the people that saying they don't lie are lying to themselves. And that truly is God laughing at you. That is God casting a very, very funny joke all over your ass, and you missed it. You completely missed it. And that comes from good and evil. That is the quest for good and evil. People won't admit they lie because they think they're good. And good people, they don't lie, which means if you're good, you can't lie. So if you want to be good, you have to say you don't lie. And that means you can lie about it. And that's the lie. That's the lie they tell themselves right away. The moment, it's an initiation. It's an initiation into lies, is they have to first claim it. And God thinks that's hilarious. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. The problem is people think that they're good. That's the problem. The problem in the world is people think they're good. But people are not good, they're real. And a real person can do good and bad. And that could happen on a turn of a dime. Any moment, someone can do good or bad. And you can be intentionally do it, or you could not be intentionally do it. You could run over a poor innocent animal on the road, and you could think you're good, but what you did is not good. What happened is not good. You could say, well, I didn't intend to do it, therefore it doesn't count, but you're just lying to yourself. Because what our actions do affect the world. In fact, our actions affect the world regardless of if we're noticing them or not. We live in a dichotomy where we pretend that, well, if you don't notice what you're doing, it's good. Ignorance is an excuse in the world of lies because we get to say, I did not know I hurt you, therefore I'm going to hurt you. It's what we use as our first line of defense is to cover that self. This is part of that victimhood thing. This is part of raping the victimhood. And I really have to come in and do this in such a way where it's felt correctly. Because you lie to yourself. I lie to myself. We lie to each other and ourselves. And truly this comes from the idea that we don't want to be real. We want to be good. And good trumps real. I mean, real trumps good. Real is so much better than good. Good is a steady state determined by everyone else. Real is an authenticity to yourself. That authenticity to yourself, if it's true, if it's truly authentic, will find yourself deeply seated inside your adrenals. Your actual equipment that makes you feel good or bad is now at stake. Because you're fully in your cockpit, it means you have to do that. You have to decide, is it worth it to me? Can my instruments take me telling another lie right now? And we negotiate that every day with ourselves and with each other. We negotiate that with God, with our boss, with our wife, with our kids, with our relationships, with our friends, with our social media. It's all that we do. And for me, the integrity check is, am I being consistent regardless of who and what I'm doing? Am I being consistent? And that's why I get in trouble. The times that I get in trouble, it's always because I say too much, not too little. And to me, the deepest kind of deceptive lie is through omission. Because through omission, we think we're not lying because we didn't use words. We're under the impression that lies come through words. But lies come through projection. Lies come through the projected assumptions that we give each other as a courtesy of humanity. We apply these projected assumptions for each other so that we can communicate properly, or we can communicate lazily. Because we're not beholding each other anymore. We're telling each other stories. And these stories are meant to behold the image of who we want person to see that we are. So I will tell you a story about how I never lie. I'll tell you a story about how wrong I think anyone else who lies is. And of that story, I can build you up a giant. I can place it in front of you, and you will praise that giant for being good. But that giant's not real. That person's not real. Real is understanding not only that lies are there, but real is understanding the compassion required as to why we would even have a world full of lies. Have you even considered why the fuck we have a world full of lies? Why would we have a science in place that even allows for lies? And there's an answer to that. And when you answer that, you start to unwrap and unravel how the matrix of this life works, how it physically all happens. And a lot of good things come of that. A lot of compassion starts to fall directly on the floor, right out of that. Because the very, very source of free will itself, free will, requires lies. It requires omission. It requires projection of understanding by a bunch of humans so that they can get along and understand each other because we're not beholding each other. And that the truth of the matter is that God was beholding itself and he had to stop. The amnesia would not take place while he was beholding himself. He had to forget. He had to create amnesia, and he had to create the illusion of meeting himself for the very first time. And the only way he could meet his effervescent greatness is with a matrix of lies, an ether of lies, an abyss of unknown mystery, an abyss, the good word abyss. Talking about the good word abyss. And out of that abyss, you could pull anything you wanted. Anything at all you could possibly dream of. You could pull out of that abyss. And then our entire structure has been built with that. It's been built with that, and we imbue this world with our prana, with our thoughts, with our electricity. We imbue it. We send it out as a marker. We put a Post-it note on it and say, here's the prana in this object. I've just charged this silver. Silver is charged with something, my intent. Now it's marked. And wherever I give this silver to has that charge inside of it. Melanie charged these and sent them. They're charged with her energy. I'm going to smoke her energy. This only happens when we're allowed to imbue things. We can only imbue things if we each have our own matrix to imbue. Otherwise, this would be a contest of who's first. And you'd see a world where everyone would go around going, I imbue you, 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 I imbue you. In fact, you could look at the papal doctrines, the Cislevier, all the Saturnalian cult stuff about markers and claiming obelisks and saying this belongs to me and this is the center of the earth. Those are all attempts to pretend that this world has a physical universal matrix that can be declared and imbued inside of one thing. And that by you doing that to yourself, as long as you have a witness, now everyone else has it. That's what law is. It's truly the lying of lies. It's the omission of we're going to pretend that there's no lies and that everything here exists. And because of that, one person is allowed to say, I declare the whole world because I said it first. And I used the right language. And all that requires lies, requires that belief. And even the ones that are in status correction right now have bought that lie and then believe that the other lie, that I can find the right paperwork, I can get a credential that will tell you, look how free I am. This credential shows me. This lie undoes that lie. And as Jeff Sederick says, when you're looking for an army of evil to do something good, or a conglomerate of evil, I'm sorry I'm screwing this up, but if you're looking for a conglomerate of evil to do something good, you're a fucking idiot. And for you to accept your own lies, you're going to have compassion for everyone else. The moment you start to have compassion for why someone else lies, you're going to start to catch yourself more being inauthentic. And you're going to notice how much you've lied about that inauthenticity by calling it other words, calling it something different. I have a friend right now that will not give me his address. He will not respond to me text. He will not respond to me through emails. But yet he will publicly tell everyone how much he respects me and likes me. And that looks good. It makes him feel good. But it's very much inauthentic. It's not the truth of what's happening. But it doesn't matter, because the lie matrix is so colorful and strong because of how many of us have abandoned our own sense of lying to ourselves. In fact, we have to accept other people's lies under the auspice that they will accept ours. And that's why we literally wake up in the morning and watch the news and instantly say, everything you're going to tell me is true unless I question it later, go. And that's the presupposition. And our world itself is built in that same matrix. It's built around that sort of system. So how do you find compassion for the liar? You notice how many times you lie to yourself. To yourself. A lot of you don't lie to others, but you lie to yourself. And you think because you don't lie to others, it doesn't count. In fact, the Ten Commandments back that up, because there's not a commandment. There's not one of the Ten Commandments says do not lie to yourself. It doesn't. It's always in reference to someone else with another witness. It's very, very different. the speaking of lies. I'm talking about telling yourself the lies that you believe every day. The reason why it's not a commandment that you can't have those lies, you can't believe those lies, is because those lies are fucking necessary. Those lies make you think something can happen before it happens. Those lies are the source of your faith. Those lies are the source of your strength. Those lies are the source of your delusions, which keep you safe at night, that allow you to sleep. The delusions that you tell yourself. And I think if we really, really want to reach this apocalypse in the best way, we need to understand just how much we need lies, just how much we utilize lies in our daily life. And when we have that compassion for that, we can see them clearly now. Because right now, if you think lies are bad and you think that you're good, therefore you can't lie, there is an electrical field stopping your retinas, your Plato's cave, from rendering the lies that you're telling right now. They're stopping you from seeing them because you think it's bad, and you can't be bad because you're good. And if you stop telling yourself you're good, if you tell yourself you're real, you will notice, well, wait a minute, what does real mean? Real is someone that lies. Real lies to themselves. So if I want to be real, I need to understand I lie to myself. And for me to understand that, I have to see it. I have to be aware of that. And then you can start to see why lies are even good. Well, how the fuck can they be good? And they're good because they're showing you your subtle energy field. They're showing you the potential of your subtle energy field and how it ties in. Here's what I mean by that. Someone claims they love you. You want to believe that. Maybe you're seeing signs that it's not. Maybe you're feeling those signs that it's not. But you lie to yourself. So what is the purpose of that lying to yourself? Oh, it's no purpose at all, James. You lie to yourself because you're weak, and that's all that it really means. And that's the whole point. You know, obviously it's because you suck. And if you wouldn't lie to yourself, you wouldn't suck, and that's why you do it. Come on, guy. It's all good. But there's more to it than that. Because the fact that you lie to yourself by saying, no, she does love me, or whatever the situation is, you're showing yourself how much you want to believe something. And then you're showing yourself how your keel is telling you something different. And now you have a battle inside yourself that you did not have before without lies. You have a subtle fractal vitriol that you would not have without lies. Because if you lived in a world without lies, you would just know. You would know if someone did this or felt this way or wanted this way or whatever. You would know all the time. Because you don't know, you now have this chemical matrix that can occur where something that you want to happen, something that you believe that could happen, something that you're like wishing would be the case, is now in direct competition with the outside world and with subtle clues. And because they're subtle, it allows that tension to grow. It allows that vitriol to boil. You literally boil inside as you try and determine what's a lie and what's the truth. And that boiling is a subterranean plasma feedback. You were picking up your subtle field and you were sensing it. And you were noticing either how weak or how strong, how adept or how retarded it is at determining lies. And your first step to gain this power, the first step to enter this dojo and say, James, I would like to start to incorporate lying into my repertoire. And by incorporating that, you would first need to see how you lie. That's the very first step. And as you progress in your showcasing of this skill, your compassion for why people are lying gives you a subtle look inside their field. Where is their weakness? Where's their shame? Is it constitutional? Is it meaningful? Has it been placed by an outside force superficially? Is this shame tied to something real? Or is it a false shellac that's been placed around us? And now we start to realize, well, wait a minute, James, now you're talking good about shame too. Yeah. Yes. Because we've already explained that shame itself is that very first layer of the ego. That the moment you became ashamed of being naked in the garden is the moment that you developed sentience. And that sentience, because you're a weakling, no offense, because you're retarded, no offense, because you're new at this, no offense, because you're a zygote, no offense, You needed to start with something. You had to form that core around something, and you needed the most electrical thing you could push off of to create that core, something that would be strong, something that would bond, and something that no one else could break. And the thing that no one else can break is your core shame. They can't break that because you will not show it to others. You won't show it to others because of that shame. That very shame that I know you probably think you're supposed to hate and get rid of is actually a necessary part of your shields. Your lies are a necessary part of your shields, and they work the exact same way. One is that inner orbit, that inner shield. The other is a much more subtle or outer shield, and each of them have tumblers that allow certain people in that you trust, right? You're telling someone that trusts you. What you're really doing is you're saying, hey, if you want to get into my heart, turn left and right, then up, down, triangle, triangle, square, square, triangle, 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 right. And you're in. And we change that formula from day to day. We revoke people. We grant people access that we shouldn't. We give people gold cards that we definitely should not have. All of these are necessary mistakes that would only work through lies. It would only work through deception. Courting is all deception. It is. Flirtation. Hunting. Predator and prey. Nature. Camouflage. Survival. All of these are families of camouflage and family of lies. In fact, your cosmology, your very cosmology, depends on lies. I can tell you it's a stationary Earth. You can say it's round. You can say it's a ball. And we both have the lies to back it up. We do. And we both have the ability to shoot the other person's lies. That's what we have. And some of our lies are weak and some of our lies are strong. Some of our lies rely on cardboard methamphetamine forts that fly through space 238,000 miles. Land on a planet with a fucking golf cart in the back. Some of the lies are so easy. And the lies that are easy are showing you how many more are not easy. They're just giving you a little toe dip in the water of this abyss of lies that we live in. And it's not an evil world. It's an abysmal world. And you have the wrong definition of abyss. It's still the right definition, but you have the wrong approach, as I keep saying. I have not changed one definition on any of you fuckers. Some of you guys are like, you're changing the definition of words. No, not once have I ever done that. I've changed your relationship to those words. An abyss, cosmic black, the source of all. Anything can happen. When you look at it that way, you understand, wait a minute, why is abyss bad? Why is abyss bad? And it's not. It's you believing that you're either a good or a bad person that's bad. It's you believing that you've decided that you don't want to be real because it's too much responsibility. You don't have to do that shit. You don't want to burn those calories. Our cosmology is built on the abyss. If we didn't have the abyss, none of us would be able to have our own cosmology. It wouldn't happen. We wouldn't have a matrix where each of us can have our own perspective on truth, our own aperture on truth. Some of us see fucking ghosts. Some of us see Sasquatch. Some of us see UFOs. 1878, Rawlins, Wyoming. July 29th, unidentified planetoid observed by 2 astronomers. Professor Watson was observing a shiny object at a considerable distance from the sun during the total eclipse. A confirmatory observation was made by Professor Swift of Denver, Colorado. Astronomer Lockyer commented, "There is little doubt that an intermercurial planet has been discovered by Professor Watson." 30th of July, the next day, 1878, in Kansas, Edwardsville, Kansas. Mr. Timmons, one of the most substantial farmers and reliable men in Wyandotte County, reports that the section men on the KP road on my farm, seeing the storm coming up very fast, got their handcart on the track and started full speed for Edwardsville. They had run but a little ways when the entire crowd at the same time saw coming around the curve of Edwards Road what they supposed to be a locomotive at full speed. This is 1878. They jumped down and took their car off the track as fast as possible when they saw it was not a locomotive. Whatever it was came down the track, giving off a volume of dense smoke with occasional flashes resembling a headlight in the center of smoke. It came 3/4 of a mile from where they first saw it, then turned off the track at a pile of cordwood, went round it once, then went off in a southwesterly direction through a thick wood, The section men came running to my house, evidently much frightened and bewildered by what they saw. Note, globular lighting may have produced this effect, as the ball of plasma could have been guided by the train tracks until it grounded itself. The duration of the phenomena, however, makes it most unusual. Atchison Globe, Kansas, August 7th, 1878. This book's full of lies. It literally lists every single, not every single. All it is just Bingen, Germany, 1141. Figures within fiery flying disc. St. Hildegard 41 reports, heaven was opened and a fiery light of exceeding brilliance permeated my whole brain. Hindenburg de Bingen died 1179. What a remarkable woman, a pioneer in many fields at a time when few women wrote. Hildegard produced major works of theology and visionary text. Christina Lerman, writing in a space reserved. When few women were accorded respect, she was consulted by and advised bishops, popes, and kings. And she reported, heaven was opened and a fiery light of exceeding brilliance permeated my whole brain. And you're going to have to call 1803, February 22nd, 1803. Sasquatch, UFO, ghosts, paranormal, will-o-wisp, fairies, demons, reptilians. All of these come from the abyss of lies. And I say that not because they're lies. I say that because you need them to accept your matrix. You need that tool of lying so that you can hear someone's story and not freak out. Because the reason why you see a Sasquatch and someone else sees a UFO is because you are more comfortable with that entity being close in proximity in your Earth space, right there in front of you. The UFO gives you distance. You think it's from far away, therefore it's not as fair. We do this psychologically. The reason why I yell at you is because I want you to be far away, because then psychically I will be intimidated less. If I have to yell at you, you're very far away. That means you're smaller, so psychically I'm not as in danger as you. And when you love someone, you whisper, because that's how close you imagine that they are to you. These are the lies that we use of volume. These are the lies we use to interact with each other. Oh, I love that shirt, right? I love what you've done with your hair. I know. We've set up a world where we need these, where we lie to each other to showcase them, to remind us, I think, hey man, it's okay. Your aperture doesn't have to match everyone else's. And because you're not able to understand what aperture is, we've given you a word that you can carry with you like a tricorder, and you can point it at anything that's giving you danger and go, that's a lie. I have determined that's a lie. And now you're safe. You're able to continue on your day because what you have embraced, you were not ready to. And you have the gift of lies waiting to provide you that safety net. My friends, there's not one piece of Dojo Earth that's here to hurt you. And I know that's hard to see. I know it. You're in the dojo and you're like, but James, there's nunchucks on the wall. There's throwing stars. There's katanas. What are you talking about? And that's because you're real. It's not because you're in danger. It's not because you're evil. It's not because you're good. It's because you're real. Those objects don't do danger. Real people do danger. And you're surrounded by real people. And those real people are running on packs of lies so they can explain their matrix to themselves. And when you understand that you're doing this to yourself, you will have unending compassion for someone else. Not consent, compassion. It will flow from you like milk and honey. Let's say hi to chat. How's it going, chat? Good to see you guys. Guy Bear, I've never been able to watch him. He's just not my cup of tea. She's talking about me. She's telling people that my last night's... Oh, I'm just kidding. She's actually talking about someone else. Good morning, Rispin. Rispin's there. Hey, Rispin. Sorry I'm late. You better be sorry, OG Beer. Glad to see you there. Glad to see you. Annie D. Truthfulness doesn't require using hypnotic cadences and tonal subtleties like repeating the same vocal tone at the end of sentences. Wizardry is pretty obvious. Annie has detected that I am a wizard. Guys, that's freaking awesome. I love that that was the comment I read. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am a wizard. I am here to subdue you. I'm here to charismatically charm you with my plasmatic electricity as we spend another hour floating around a stationary Earth going nowhere. I'm telling you how important it is to be real. That's obviously wizardry. I'm telling you how important it is to be sovereign and plant your feet in the soil. I'm expressing the need to find your root. All of that makes me the evilest, wickedest man in the world. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Prometheus Peanut. Hello from the Dojo Earth. Hello, Prometheus Peanut. William Cocker. Sup, dude? Got a theory I want to run by you. Yo, James. Hi, everybody. Good Friday, people. Amanda B. Love the sky. Hi, Amanda B. Amanda gets mad at me, and then she likes me, and then she gets mad at me, and she likes me again. I just want to point that out. And that's her sine wave, and I love it. I appreciate that. I appreciate that because I have compassion for it. I understand how it works. Steve Crockett, aren't we all wizards with our spell boomerangs? Yes, we are. Except for the ones that are pretending not to be. The ones that are like, I'm not a wizard, but everyone else is. Those are the worst wizards of all. Do you know why? Because they're black magicians. What is a black magician? Someone who doesn't know that their magic is hurting people. That's what a black magician is. Notice how I don't need the word evil to describe a black magician. Right? All I said was ignorant. A black magician is ignorant. All of us are magicians. Even the ones that say we're not. In fact, those are the blackest of all. Thanks for the super chat, Benjamin. And James D. This tune makes me want a fancy martini in a low-light nightclub with sunglasses on and a black suit with a bow tie. You're damn straight, man. That's The Blaze by Rafa Orchestra. And all those pretty names you see are patrons who made all this possible. I'd like to do a shout out to them right now since we go ahead and do this little scene here. Let's just remember who it is that got us here. It was Harvey and Woodwose and Sandy and Aaron and Heather and Kevin and Jen and Sister Chevy, James, Sevaslov, Raymond, Rachel. Why did she fly? I didn't forget you, Jeremy. The city of Maple Bear. Oh, I can keep going, Dell. But I'm not going to because we got to keep going on with the show. But I do want to say that is a good song, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate all my patrons. This would not be possible. Yesterday's episode was considered an adult episode, which is the first time I've ever seen that. I believe that the dick pic of the Whore of Babylon, riding the 7 dicks of Babylon, was probably the clincher there that pushed it over. In fact, me talking about it now probably just made this one the same way. But that's why we have patrons, and that's why I'm so thankful for all you guys to be there. I want to give a warning to Jen. Annie D is throwing out hearts, and that is a form of wizardry. She's throwing you a sigil of a red heart, which is not indicative of the 4-chamber system, which clearly means that she's evil, and she's casting black spells on you. So be careful, guys. Watch out for Annie D. She's talking how bad wizards are. She's passing sigils around back and forth and using the Babylonian language to charm each other. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a wizard hunter. Yep, later, Tater. All right, so now that we understand why lies are there, maybe we can start to have a little bit more compassion for them all. And the more compassion you feel for them, the more you're going to be able to see what you're doing. I really think that you're going to be able to understand that. Most of what we do is denying our own power. Most of what we're lying about, right? The victimhood, all that, is our attempts to lie about our own power. Gaia Bear, if I had the power to play everything but the girl tunes on this stream, I would. But there's like a copyright thing, and there's that. And I have to save my things for dick pics, Can't even believe I have a dick pic, and it's of Babylon. That's what's so weird about it. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, we actually were explaining that the Whore of Babylon actually is the one that has this omnidirectional strap-on of many dildos thing going on. It's awful. You're pretending that she's the whore, but actually she's the one that's filling your holes. All she needs is for your holes to reveal themselves. And one of those holes is your propensity to fear your own power. One of those holes is to accuse everyone else of being a wizard while you're casting spells every day to bring food on your table, right? You're casting these spells every day to influence the world around you. I'd like to prune these rose bushes. Wizardry. I'd like to grow my own food. Herbalism. Would like to command my own family. Prometheus. And this is that slippery slope we're talking about, right? Guys, let's not be good or bad. Let's be real. And real means we understand our own power. And real means all of us have the same power. Real means all of us use the same language, the same tools, the same silver, the same everything. This is how we find ourselves. This is how we find our subtlety. And if it was not for these lies, we would not know where our obsessions lie. There is something that I want to be true so bad right now, and it's not. All the evidence says no. Every single piece of evidence in the physical world says no. But because this person is lying to me, I want to believe that they are telling me the truth. And that is not a new thing for me. I have about 12 of those open right now across the board in social media. In fact, one person probably thinks, oh, he's talking about me, and actually, I'm probably not. This is going across the board. Each of us have this. Right now in our mind, we have a vortex spinning, and we're wondering, are they lying? Are they lying about that? Some of you are wondering about that, me, right? Isn't Annie D like, oh, he's using wizardry, he must be lying. It's all of us are doing that, and it's okay. Because that doubt field that you fill, the doubt field that you're burning calories on to wonder is actually feeding me a little bit. It's draining you, it's feeding me, and it's making your resolve stronger. It's making your discernment stronger because you realize how many calories you have to burn by holding on to belief. If you're injecting prana into a belief that's giving you the wrong feedback, you're not getting enough feedback from it, you will lose that. You will lose energy from that, and it will drain you. And you have to learn how to protect these things. That's why you have lies. This is a training ground. It's dojo, baby. Dojo earth. There's no scaffolding in here. In the bowling alley, there are no bumpers, right? No one's putting floaty arms in. This is the adult pool we're going into. All right? The floaties and the booties, that's for peeing on each other. That's for the warm water. It's a different place here. This is real. This isn't good or evil. This is real. I know a lot of us want to go back. I know a lot of us want to believe things that are true. And that's part of your training. And the less you feel victimized by it, the more empowered you can get by it. And that truly is the key. Because when you remove the victimization, which means you remove the codpiece of righteousness, all that bullshit, when you don't spend your mornings going, this guy's a wizard, blah, 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 you can truly understand what's happening with someone else. You don't have to cast this mantle of evil on them and then picture them sniveling behind a tree going, hee 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 hee, like everyone does that before they hurt somebody. That's a fucked up cartoon world that has no compassion in it, and it's the biggest lie you can tell yourself. Because you're pretending you're the good one, you're the one being honest, and everyone else is lying, and that's bullshit. It is bullshit. Truth is real, says Robert. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Magnetic. Magic C 2020. Thank you, James D. Now's the time, 2020. Right now. Best apocalypse ever. This is the summer for all this to come undone. All of this. And you got to stop. You got to stop bitching at yourself. You got to stop pretending that you're good. You're real. Real is so much better than good. So much better. Real person's going to walk in and go, you real? Like, yep. Like, so you lie to yourself? And you're like, yep. It's fucking real. And that requires a certain electrical field that most of us don't have. And that electrical field is going to be shit if you're always telling yourself how good you are. Because if you're always telling yourself how good you are, you're always dumping energy when you think you're bad. And so now you're just extracting good or bad energy from other people. You're either extracting it or avoiding it, like a fucking game of dodgeball. Pranic dodgeball is the game of good and evil. We're talking about something different. Right? We're talking about a totally different place with this compassion. That's right, J.R. Byrne. Pain does not exist in this dojo, does it? No, Sensei. And it doesn't. Pain is your electrical field. It's either getting its ass kicked or it's getting refined. And both of those are exactly the same thing, aren't they? They're exactly the same. And all this stems from your victimhood. All this stems from that germ theory that you have about yourself, that you're evil versus good. It all stems from there. And once you release that germ theory, once you hang that germ theory up before you enter the dojo, this whole place fucking changes. Because you know where the source of all your power is. You know where the source of your morality is. You know that you are the factory of morality, and everything you do is either going to be good or evil, which means you cannot be good or evil. You can only produce good and evil. And a factory is not a widget. A factory is a producer of widgets. A factory is an instrument of widgetry, not wizardry, but of widgetry. And you are a factory of morality. You're an instrument of God. God needed something to be moral, and he needed it with the delicate fingers and toes and tongue and lips and ears of something as sophisticated as you. That your piloting system, your targeting system, your sonar, your radar, your radio equipment, all of your communication equipment is delicately tuned for this task. And this environment you told yourself is lies because it's been tainted by evil a long time ago, and we have to scourge it in the earth, and the best way to do that is to burn animals because the smell seems to make the Lord pleasing, and as long as we cut off each other's dicks, everything will be fine because Zion is coming, is a fucking illusion that you're telling yourself because you do not want to be real. And the whole time God's waiting for you. Like, fucking say it, man. Say my name. Say my name, bitch. Say it. And you can't because you're talking to the Bible. You can't because you've opened up this Ghostbusters thing that they fly under the ghost. It opens it up. And no matter what words you try and spread across that, they're thrown in with, that's not scripture. That's not scripture. Or I'll pray for you. Or repent, repent, repent. And everything that you're told has to pass through this chasm of black hole where it gets sucked down and wrapped in another scripture, a piece of cellophane saying, well, no, God really meant this, and God really said this, and God really said this. And the whole time, God's been talking to you in the stars. The whole fucking time. And you can't hear it because you've heard the lies that those stars themselves are evil. That those stars themselves are God tempting you to not raise up too high so he can smite the fuck out of you. And we carry that with us. And that's what makes us believe there's good and evil. It's what makes us cut our dicks off. It's what makes us geld ourselves as men. And that's what we're living in now. And that's why things are so much harder. Because we've climbed deeper into the cave, not out. No, we'd rather throw slime on each other. That guy's a wizard. That guy's evil. That guy's this. That guy's that. That guy's a liar, instead of understanding the truth. The truth is good news. It is. The truth is this entire fucking place works on consent. No one gets a board of the face without your consent. It's true. And this entire matrix can be built by you off lies or off truth. It doesn't matter. You pick it. Pick one. Look how profitable it is to lie. Look how profitable it is to string someone along. Look how profitable it is to say one thing and then do something completely different in private. And no one penalizes each other for that. Because of Babylon. Babylon says, hey man, you're good. You're good. And if you come over here, I'm going to put one of my dicks in your ear. And Babylon's going to tell you how good you are for a long time. And you're going to love that venom. You're going to love it. Why? Because you think you're evil. Because you're buying into this bullshit. James is in tune, says Benjamin Crossland. The flow state is turned on. Love it. Thanks, buddy. This is a tough episode to get in front of today, but I'm glad it's here. Because these lies are the secret and the key to our compassion. I'm not picking on you, Amy, or Annie. Just telling people what you're saying. I know you don't know what you're saying, but I do. And I'm just telling you the electricity. And that's good. I'm glad we had a chance to see it. And good luck with that battle of, he's a wizard and you're not. Good luck with that. Because you're a wizard. You're wizarding right now, Annie D. Right now. You are wizarding. And I think it's fine. I think we should just be honest with it. Like, it's great. It's one of the most healthy things we can do when we start to understand what it is we're doing, what it is we have, what it is we're about, and why we need these lie matrices to build ourselves up. Why it's so constructive. It's perfect. I wouldn't change a thing. And the pain that I fall through because I fell for a lie is exactly the pain I needed to survive that lie, to learn from it, to emerge from the other side, to find this other peace. I said that. Nancy B. wrote this yesterday. Wanted to thank you, James, for triggering the crap out of me. I've known for a while now that when we allow ourselves to just be and feel our vitriol, something does happen and things are released. I love it. Hope to talk to you soon and other tribe members. And that vitriol, I would not be growing without this vitriol. I would not be growing without this person lying to me right now. I would not be growing with all these other people lying to me. It's causing my field to get that much more sincere, that much more fidelity, gains my field. And I welcome those challenges, and you do too. You will too. Finding the compassion, as Michael's struggling to do, as all of us are struggling to do, comes from looking at all these things that we know are bad and realizing the reason why I think they're so bad and evil is because electrically, I feel them. They're tangible to me. And that tangibility is what you want. That tangibility means you're in your cockpit. That pain, pressure, and weight that you feel means that you are fully under throttle and you are in control. And I know it seems hard now, but that weight will get easier every day. And it won't feel like weight. It'll be just standard. It'll be standard cargo after a while. And your relationship changes with it. And all of a sudden, your world is now 50% less evil. And when it's 50% less evil, you do not have a need when you wake up in the morning to say, I need to point out who's evil today. And you won't go on this quest of Mordor to say, we must find the evil wizard. It's James. He's the evil wizard. That is an electrical connection that you need that's based purely on your belief in good and evil. And yesterday, you declared too many things are good. And you don't know this yet. But yesterday, you were like, that's so good, and that's so good, and that's so good. So now the next day, you have to come in and declare things evil to balance it out. Because you are living in a prana economy. And the entire world can't be good. You believe in germ theory. In fact, you can't have good without evil. So every time you're trying to say, look how good that is, you're really saying, tomorrow, look how bad that is. Look how bad that is. And you don't understand the electricity because you're too fucking lazy, because you're too busy pointing to other people saying, that guy's a fucking wizard. And that's what we do in victimhood. It allows us to miss all that. And we're not even inside the dojo, we're in the lobby. We're in the lobby where all the cubicles are, our cubbies are. And we've taken our shoes off and they're in the cubby. And we're trying to put on our white belt uniform. And we've fallen. We've got our leg in the armhole. We're got the belt around our neck. We have no fucking idea what we're doing. And we're going to just claim it everyone else. That guy's evil. That guy's evil. Look at his belt. It's green. He's evil. Oh, look at that yellow. That's what we're doing. And that victimhood gives you the calories and the ability to do that. And the lies around you allow the matrix for it to stay. Those lies, that abyss, is like an uncharged capacitor. And just like we imbue the ether with all of our thoughts, we imbue teddy bears, we imbue silver, we imbue books when we sign them, we imbue meals when we eat them. We need these lies to imbue these ideas that make us feel safe. And what makes us feel safe is that if we feel good. And the only way we can feel good is if there are other things that are bad, and the distance between the things that we call are bad is greater than X over Y. And the entire thing's a mathematical, electrical formula of plasma. The entire thing is. All of it. But we don't understand that yet because we do not understand the polarity. We have a problem with the electricity. And this is why I told you yesterday that people that hate you are attracted to you. Annie likes me because she accuses me of being a wizard. She likes me. She's attracted to me for that. Just as people who like me in the chat, it's the same energy. Both are flow of electricity. When you understand this, when you understand that the people that hate you are actually attracted to you, all you gain is compassion. All you gain is compassion from that. Because you understand what that hate truly is. That hate is respect. A person that hates you is truly saying, you're a threat to me. I find your energy formidable. And that's respect. And compassion begins in respect. It begins in respect. You cannot respect someone if you're calling them a narcissist. You could not respect someone if you're calling them a psychopath, a sociopath, evil, a wizard, a Luciferian, right? These labels allow you to cause disrespect to someone because you dehumanize them. That's literally what demonizing means. Demonizing means I want to call this thing all the bad in the world and cast it into a pit so I'll never see it again. Is that okay? And everyone else is like, if I could do it, if you could do it, I could do it, right? And they're like, yeah, sure. And we've all agreed and that's what we do. That's what we have. You're in the dojo right the fuck now, Jared. Right the fuck now. And you're being a little bitch. So welcome to timeout, bitchy McSpammerson. All these things that we think are our enemy are electrical potential that we're missing. We're missing the opportunity to grab it. All that power is right there. And the way you feel about it is going to show you, are you being drained or are you gaining? Are you gaining current or are you losing current? And that's directly telling you what the flow of electricity truly is. And that's your instruments. Your instruments run off your emotion, guys. Stop saying, well, why do we even have emotions? They don't even make sense. Emotions are your entire instrument cluster. All of the clustering of your instruments run off your emotions. Those emotions are giving you subtle body hints all the time. Ping, 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 ping. You lied yesterday to yourself about this, and here this is coming up. Bing, bing, bing. And then you're just like, oh, guilt. Oh, why did I do that? Why did I do that? And then you're constantly like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. That person's evil. Now all of a sudden you're not thinking about it. Look how evil they are. You're not thinking about it anymore. Look how evil that person is. Look how great I am. Oh my God, that guy's a wizard. He's trying to fool me with wizardry. Oh my God. And then you enter into that state where you no longer have to focus on yourself because you're a victim. That victim is horse blinders. It's giving you the magical ability to ignore all the shit that you do. And you're directing the polarity of it all. You're saying, I'm good, you're bad. I'm good, you're bad. I'm good, you're bad. And what is you're imbuing. And now you have an imbuing fight. The other person's like, but I'm good and you're bad. You're like, no, I'm good and you're bad. And that's an imbuing battle, right? Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. One person shows compassion, the entire thing ends. It's like, I can see how you would think I was bad. It doesn't make me bad because I'm neither good nor bad. I'm real. And I can see how you, having that aperture, would think I'm bad. And I gain insight from that. I gain electricity from that. So as you are casting your electricity, you're a wizard, and you're using language, and you're saying things, and you're making me think. The person in the dojo with the right stance knows how to respond to those. It's not even a threat. It's a challenge. We talked about this yesterday. It's not a drama triangle. It's an empowerment triangle. It's not a persecutor. It's a challenger. And both these are the same triangle. Both of them are directly controlled by your ability to approach the situation. And what is approach in the dojo? It's stance. How do you stance? What is your stance? And that's going to be the key to everything. When your stance is better, you're going to have more energy. You're going to have more energy because you're not bypassing the negative that's coming to you. You're not like, oh, I'm going to dodge that. You're like, I'm going to use that. When they punch, I'm going to use the force of that negative punch, and I'm going to use it to pull them over to my side, over to me. And this is the most basics of judo. And none of you have to be inside a real dojo to know this. That none of this requires any. This is just a great analogy. So we have so much to work on, so much beautiful things to work on. And as we're laying in the sun, we can start to realize the emotional draining that I'm feeling right now. I've got it in my gut right now. This emotional subtleties that we're feeling, either charged, good or bad. Those are vital instruments, and we can only listen in if we have compassion. And we can't cover one ear and go, I don't want to listen to the right side. It's got bad noise in it. No, we want to listen to both. The sucking and the pulling. Both those are energy, and you feel those emotionally. And if you don't victimize yourself by the sucking will change. In fact, you will enjoy to embrace it because your awareness of it will start to transmute it. I've seen this happen in real time. Had my toe hurt, where my toe was throbbing in pain, and this healer was able to change that throb from boom, boom, fuck, to oh, and the same drama triangle of pain became an empowerment triangle. She was coaching me. James, I want you to show your toe awareness. She wasn't saying that, but I could hear the words emotionally. James, I want you to show your toe awareness. I am your toe's witness, James. Let's witness your toe right now. And my body's like, I don't want to see it. It hurts too much. I don't want to go down there and witness. And that's exactly what my toe needed. It needed my witness right then. And when I gave it that witness, that throbbing of pain was transmuted in real time into a throbbing of healing. And that's fucking wizardry. And only real people can do that. Only real. Annie, the person who did that, could not have done that if she was like, fucking evil and good and wizard and bad. It never would have worked that way. In fact, the best she would have done is, I'm going to pray for your toe later. Maybe. And that's why we've changed our definition. We don't command what we want. We ask quietly on our knees with our feet not even grounded. We short out our right and our left. And we don't tell a soul. And that change shows you the victimhood. It shows you our desire to enslave ourselves. It shows you the safety net of putting on booties, putting on our floaties, and saying, can we just go back to that warm yellow water again? I know it wasn't deep enough, but I felt safe there. There's no wizards in there, or whatever it is. It's true compassion will get you in that big pool. And we'll be diving for pearls in no time. And that means lies are built into this matrix. That means good and evil is a product of man, not an inherent quality of them. There's so much to unlearn here, guys. So much. Someone told me the other day on Twitter, they're like, the uneducated are so difficult. And my reply is, oh my God, the educated are so much more difficult. The educated are that much further away from the truth, because they would have to become uneducated first before we can even begin to get there. But you guys get that. We have a dojo today. All you should have invites by now, actually. So we'll start that up at 12:30. I've got a busy day of consults. Lots of consults today. If you guys would like to book a consult with me one-on-one, you're welcome to do that. Visit my website, jtrue.com, and you can do that. That money is really helping me a lot right now, especially with this whole land thing, because we'd love to get this land thing back on the ground and see what we can do. Lots of good things are happening, and I'm glad that you guys are joining me and that we are a tribe. I also just want to say, man, I freaking love the vibes in the chats. It's a really, really good community. And, today I was just like, I don't even want to do a show. And I was like, I have to, because there's this awesome community, and I at least want to start a fire so they can talk to themselves. So even if it's a shitty show, I know that if I at least show up and allow you guys to talk among yourselves, you guys are going to enjoy that connection too. So thank you for being here, everybody. And no stream tomorrow, no stream Sunday. Working on the book now, which is great. Kicking ass on the book. That is going really well. Hoping to get lots of cranking done on the book. And can't wait to show that to you. Thank you guys so much. And James out.
You said it yourself, this will not work if we are miles apart. Wake up alone, your fans are closed. Reach for something that you're not. Oh, you need to calm down, honey. You need to calm down, honey. You need to calm down, honey. You need to calm down, 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 down. I know how you feel up in there. You'll get there, I know you will. I know that you don't like your hair, but I think it's beautiful. We just need to calm down.